this over?
Flip it up.
It is up.
Look like it.
Anyone?
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
So, yeah, my name's Tom and I'm with Rainbow Broadband. So today we're going to talk about how Rainbow goes about connecting tech-savvy businesses in New York. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. I'll give you a little bit of background. Okay. Give you a little bit of background.
Hold it closer to you now.
A little bit of background on Rainbow. So in 2005 is when Rainbow was founded, and there was a need in the market. All you could get was pretty much T1s and DS3s. Both were expensive. Nothing really fit the price model. So Rainbow came out with a 10 megabit Ethernet with using licensed point-to-point microwave. It's fast to deploy, provides very good service. We fast forward to today, current competition market, you have the low-end providers from the incumbents doing in the hundreds. You can get 300, 500 meg on the download, something on the upload on a shared congested network. Or we have some competitors out there that are in the 1 gig fiber to the business. Rainbow, we start at the 1 gig, we move up into the 10 gig. So this is where we are in 2016, where we compete. Sorry, I don't understand technology. Okay. So we're currently available in 300 commercial buildings serving New York's leading tech and media companies. We're all over. We have a lot of high-profile customers that demand good service. We're pure Ethernet from our core to our customer. There's no DOCSIS, no DSL. We don't have any of those limitations. We provide 100 megabits to 40 gigabits symmetrical service. And we can provide 100 gigabit connections if you so desire. We are limited to 800 gigabits per customer, but that's untested. Okay, just truth in advertising. We think we can do it, but we're not positive. We use both microwave and fiber technologies to provide our service depending on what is needed and what kind of platform we have. Microwave, of course, being preferred over fiber since microwave is generally faster. The reason being that it's faster is radio waves through the atmosphere travel faster than photons through glass. That's physics. The second thing is geometry. Point-to-point connections are faster than the fiber that has to follow the path in the road and everything like that. So we get a bonus on having less latency across our network because of the technology. I'm going to try and hit the next button. Okay. So what does networks look for? The network, what do customers expect? They expect reliability. The network needs to go up and stay up. There's no chance for it to go down, especially for business customers, because they have businesses to run. So this is the scariest thing you can ever see as a service provider. This right here gives me fear. Because Wally has his magic backhoe, and he can find any fiber that's not located. And he does. And now the fiber crews are great. They get out there, they replace the fiber. But when he grabs a 600 or 800 count fiber and jerks it out of the ground, it's a big mess. So that's why we use a lot of microwave, is to avoid construction problems that we have. So this is our core. This is our core network. We're an L2 core in New York. We take and run massive fiber on diversity in the middle of the link. Now we have connectivity coming from our customer. We use both microwave and fiber to go to our customer. So not only do we have the physical diversity going left and right, 2 different data centers, we also use street level and from building top to building top with point-to-point microwave. So this isn't the Wi-Fi that your grandpa had. This is licensed microwave that like AT&T would use in the Rocky Mountain regions. Microwave is great for an alpine region, and Manhattan is an alpine region. It's just that all the mountains here are made by man. So it works out really well. So this is how we connect into our buildings. As you can see, we go from point to point, and then we put a demarc inside the building if it's a multi-tenant building that we have to service, just like you would normally do with fiber, except that we have two connections, one at the top of the building, one at the bottom of the building. And here's our fiber rings. As you can see, we're at multiple locations throughout the city. We have our BFR 0 is located at 325, and we put our BFR 1 is located at 4 Times Square. These are our fiber links. So you can see our fiber that we have in our city here. And the colors, the reason why there's two different colors is those are the different providers that we get fiber from. So we just color code them. I just took a snap off the map. But we try not to follow the same path with all the fibers and get it out so that we can have good rings inside the city. Now speed. Speed is key. Speed is king. So speed across the network, 1 gig is the new normal. If you don't connect at 1 gig, you're being a service provider. That's normal today. 10 gigs is the new normal for tomorrow. So we offer symmetrical bandwidth just like everybody should. We do 1 gig, 10 gig, 40 gig, 100 gig, anything in between, all symmetrical, it's yours. We got low latency. We give low latency to our customers. Our customers like low latency. We get that through peering. So when we're across town, most of our network, if we're going to any of the DKIX members, we're usually under a millisecond to go from customer firewall to a DKIX member. So if somebody wants to go to Netflix, they're there in less than a millisecond, usually about 0.9 milliseconds. In congestion, we've engineered our network so that for the highest traffic hour of the year, we can be in a failure state and our customers would never know it. So we're zero hop crosstown EVCs because we're layer 2. We got 1 hop to the transit routers. You go straight from the firewall to the border router. The border router peers with either one of the tier 1 providers or peers with DKIX members. Our node 0 is at 325 Hudson Street. That's our primary. We really like that data center, so we kind of favor that a little bit. And of course, we're at all the other big carrier hotels in New York that everybody has to be in. Transparency. Transparency is key to providing a good relationship with your customer, right? So what does that mean to us? First of all, our AS number, 31769, you can look us up. You can search on the internet, see who we're connected to. There's truth in advertising, right? No deep packet inspections. We do not look inside your traffic to see what kind of traffic it is, what kind of emails you're sending. We don't do any traffic shaping. There's no need for us to do traffic shaping. You bought connectivity, you get the connectivity. We do not do top talkers. There are no top talkers because we don't believe in top talkers. If you buy a gig, you get a gig. Therefore, we have no usage caps. No time of day restrictions. You want the internet, you get the internet any time of day you want to use it. We have no failed DNS redirects. A lot of service providers, if you fail your DNS, will redirect you to a search page that they get money for. We don't do that. There's no preferred peers. We're totally neutral on our peering. We do not have a preferred peer list. We do not do least cost routing. What we do is we drop you on, you get to go to the internet as quickly, as efficiently as possible. Not what's cheapest for us. We just want you to have a great service, because then you don't call us. And there's no class of service or quality of service. And the reason being is, in order to have a class of service or quality of service, you have to make a decision on which packets to throw away. We don't throw away any packet. All packets are important. So we've engineered our network so we're never congested. All packets are important. And you get to move your traffic on and off. So basically it boils down to, we play no games, and we're not your big brother. We're your internet access provider. So service. Service is the next most important thing for customers. And for service, businesses measure their downtime in cost per minute. You have a business with 600 employees standing around because they can't do their work because they're a new tech media company. That is extremely expensive. So we're 24/7 automated monitoring and alerting. In the city that never sleeps, businesses never sleep, and service providers never sleep either. We can do a fully managed if the customer needs it. We can do your routers, switches, firewalls, Wi-Fi, VPN, concentrators. We don't do printers. We don't do desktop support. I can't help you with your email. We interact with other providers. Some customers want to have a primary and a backup. Some customers want to have both run BGP with you and have redundant links, so we do that. We'll help with that. There's no problems. Pre-positioned sparing, depending on which building it is. We actually put base configs on some of our equipment already at the locations. We can fire it up. We change the MAC address. You can download the config file. They're up and running in moments. Because sometimes you have a piece of equipment that's not internally high availability, you better have a spare standby. Because it's not when it's going to break. It's going to break. You just know it's going to break. Scheduled maintenances, just like every good service provider, nights, weekends, holidays. Holidays are our favorite. Usually everybody's home. If your maintenance runs a little long, there's less complaining. At Rainbow, the CTO will make house calls. So that's always a benefit for some of our customers. So here's a few of the customers that we have. We won't stay on this too long, but these are just a few of them that we have. And price. So here's the big thing about price of the internet. Price of the internet has done this over time. This is from DR Peering, and this is the price over the last 20 years for what the cost of the internet has. So as we can see, towards the tail end of this, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of cost to the internet, so there's not a lot of markup. Internet has become a commodity. Everything's down to service and speed. That's the only thing that's left to hold your business. This gives competitive access providers such as Rainbow a benefit because in the early 2000s, before the bubble burst, most of the incumbents did extremely large upgrades to their networks. They shoved in, millions of CMTSs to do DOCSIS. They threw in millions of DSLAMs to do on all this aging infrastructure because you could charge a lot of money and it was a high profit margin. That crashed. So the incumbents have to hold on to their equipment and extend the life of the technology that they use in order to generate the revenue that they had promised their shareholders and get back. Competitive guys like ourselves don't have that problem. So we're Ethernet based. We build the plant, the physical infrastructure as needed, and we can do 100 gigs. That's it. That's all I got for today. If you got any questions, feel free. Yes, sir.
The network is mostly focused here in Manhattan from 57th Street down to the Battery?
That is correct.
So is there plans to build it out, like, let's say, New Jersey or Long Island or anyplace else?
Okay, so we're currently expanding into Brooklyn and into Long Island City. And we'll have to see what happens as we go, right? If there was a market, if you would like service, if you would like to sign up, we could probably see what it would take.
I'm not your potential customer, but I'm just asking. But I have another question.
Yes.
Do you integrate with anybody else who might be a microwave provider in another area?
It depends on what you want by integration. So there's a few.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of people who still use the satellite for voice communications, and sometimes that's microwave from, let's say, Long Island, using, let's say, Metcom into the city. So would you integrate with something like that?
I wouldn't be opposed to talking to them, but
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be opposed to having a discussion with them,
Okay.
but there's no guarantee that we would be
Just
able
ask.
to do it. All right, thank you very much.